So I'm just going to cut to the chase and how I've been feeling lately. Because right now, I need to tell it. I need to tell exactly how it is and how I've been feeling. And this may only get 2-3 views, but I don't care. I don't care. So lately, I've really just been feeling too much on the outside. I've been feeling too, I've been feeling as though there's the looking glass here. There's the viewing room, and I'm looking in on everybody, just living the life, being included, having that value when other people acknowledge them and they've got their own thing going. I don't feel like I have that, and I don't know if it's just throughout time I've been putting high expectations, if I've just been putting up this wall, too many barriers. But experiences shape your life. What you go through is what shapes your life. And some people, when they're going through negative shit, when they've been in circumstances where they felt used and nobody gives a shit about them, people, colleagues are talking behind your back, on a work do, and then you find out through somebody who was there. I've been through, stuff that shaped me, and it's made me very self-aware, and I don't want to be back in that circumstance. And knowledge is wisdom, and what you know is, it's experience. It's all experience, and I'm just very precautious right now on everybody, because I don't feel included. I don't feel included in most people's lives as much as I wish to be. And this is from the inside. Sometimes it's been from close people, not feeling included, not feeling like part of them, and it's also been with friends, and I just don't. I don't want to. I don't want to feel like I'm giving something that I'm getting nothing in return. So I don't give a fuck no more. I don't give a fuck about most people. Because right now it feels like everybody's just living their life and it's okay for them, but for me I just feel as though I'm left out. I feel like, okay, well, if you ever want to be happy, whatever I want to do, I'm not gonna set my expectations too high, because there's gonna be a lot of people who will tell me, well, you should have done this at this time, and certain people who just have these lenses on and just see me for my past. They can't get behind me for I want to change. And part of just not doing much is it's just this lack of, I feel like I'm in this box and it's just me who knows how I feel, and nobody really wants to try to understand me. Nobody wants to get to know why I'm so defensive, why I get skeptical when I go out in large crowded environments, because I can't really go many places and meet somebody and not be skeptical about everybody around me. It's just who I am. I don't like noisy, heavily infested environments, and I don't like I just right now my relationship with people, with just society, I fucking hate. I don't really want to go out my depth and go out of what I can't control. I really just do not like people. I don't like people. So I put up these barriers and I put up these walls, and you know, I'm just so fucking tired. I'm just tired of all of this shit. You know, because you know, if it gets to a point where you just realise the hard truth is that nobody really gives a fuck. Sometimes you're just one of these types of people where nobody wants to understand you. They're gonna leave you on your own. They're gonna fucking treat you like this Frankenstein. They're going to just make judgment, and they don't want to know you. And right now, you know, I'm too fucking self-aware of all this, and when you're aware on human nature, it's not that I don't want to be around people or make new connections, it's that the fucking resources that I've got and the options, the people where I live, and just, they're absolutely shitty. They're shitty human beings. You know, and people make out like, oh well, it's you. That's a you problem. And most people are just passive. They're just very passive. Like, nobody really wants to say it how it is anymore. It's, oh well, you're just crazy. Oh well, you're just a boomer, or you're just you know. People just like to shut others down because they're not following the certain agenda. They're not following, you know, they're not following the crowd. They like to fucking shut you down. And I watched something once on what it's like to be the only person who knows the right answer. So it was a cartoon animation thing, and it was these sheep crossing crossing from one hillside to another, and all the fucking sheep just jumped to the death. They just jumped over thinking that they can get over, you know, all in line, and they were just falling. But there was one sheep that knew what to do. So, essentially, the sheep, you know, got a plank of wood that all the other sheep have been avoiding, or been ignoring. But one got the plank of wood and crossed to get to the other side and made a bridge. And all the others just fucking went back to following the crowd and just discarded the plank of wood which was used as a bridge and just fell to the death. Like, and this is the fucking society, like, nowadays, that most people are going by. It's that they're not thinking for themselves. They're not going with their own initiative because they're scared of what the fucking crowd is going to think about them, and it's fucking stupid. Because a lot of, like, especially the newer generations, like, they haven't got this skill set that humans throughout time have used. Which makes us a civilization, which is the social skills, the self-awareness, the empathy, the sympathy for people. And it's just like they're a fucking soundboard, like they're just a walking, talking, mindless fucking soundboard that is so, what's the word, so dehumanized and desensitized to everyone around them. It's like, and it makes you wonder, makes you wonder, like, what the fuck, you know? So, you know, I am not surprised one bit why there's so much fucking problems in the world nowadays with humanity and fucking mental health and that, because it's not easy. It's not fucking easy. Because the days of just walking into a bar or going out in public and just being just being a person, just a civil member of society is fading. And it's fucking ridiculous. And it shouldn't be, but it is. So, right now I don't really want much to do with other people. I don't want to be in the crowd of this fucking... Like, I don't want to be, like, in the same group as everybody else. Like, I see everybody else, like, here, and I'm all the way back there. You know, I'm just doing my own thing, minding my own business, and taking each day as it comes. You know, and just being a separate entity. And you might think that, well, this mindset and way of thinking is unhealthy, but it's a survival mechanism. That's all it is. It's a survival mechanism, and I feel as though right now, whenever I go into society, my mind is on fight or flight mode. Like like I'm always got to, you know, I've always got to be in survival mode. I mean, I've always got to be in defense mode, attack mode, you fucking name it. Because I simply just don't like this idea of this new society and unpredictability. Like, when you become aware, and I'm not saying the news is a good thing, but sometimes it's a tool, and it helps you understand and on where people are ending up, and it's a tool to use to make you more self-aware and be a bit more smarter when you go out. Because I mean, I live in Yorkshire. I live in South Yorkshire, and if I got I don't know, say for instance I looked in the news and it said on BBC News, 5 people stabbed in Rotherham, Parkgate, whilst on a train to Sheffield. Well, if I only saw this a week before I was meant to be meeting somebody and going to Parkgate myself, I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to be more self-aware. You know, I'm going to do everything I can so I don't get stabbed. But it's happening more often now than I'd like to think. You know, it's happening more times than, you know, it happens all the time. That's my point. So you've got to be smart, and you've got to be in a situation where you don't get stabbed. So yeah, it's hard. It is hard sometimes to just have a day where you're just in your own world, you're minding your own business, and nobody comes to interrupt your flow, your being. It's hard to not have a day where nobody disturbs your day. It's very hard. It's very fucking hard to have a day where it goes right. And this is what I don't really like, because in my opinion, I think I should, you know, bare minimum, I'm entitled to peace. I'm entitled to, you know, and as long as I'm not affecting anybody else, I think that, in fact, no, I know that peace and having no problems with other people, as long as I'm not bothering anybody else, that should be granted. You know, because I'm not anybody else, and I don't know their problems. But I don't really want to know anybody's problems. You know, if I'm having a day where I wake up at you know, do the usual things, eat breakfasts, going to work, you know. If I'm just doing everything what I'm supposed to be doing, well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So anything in between, I don't see it as important. Like, you know, it's life essentially can be simple. Life can be very simple, but it's other people sometimes that make an issue out of small things, and that's where the outbreak comes from, where people start fighting and becomes a toxic work environment, because sometimes there's too many egotistical, oh, look at me, I want all the attention kind of people who make everything about themselves, you know. And I simply just don't have time for those types of people, and it's the not types of people I want to hang about with or get to know. But I think everybody's entitled. I think everybody has the right to have a day for themselves, undisturbed. Nobody bothering them, nobody pestering them. Especially if it's your day off, you know. If you've got only, say, one day off, and you work 6 days a week, that day to yourself is going to be more sacred than the days you work when you get back from work. So it's your responsibility and your duty to make sure that you have the best day off you can wish for. And that's not saying that nothing's going to go wrong. You know, sometimes there's stuff that cannot be helped. The weather, you know, a lot of things, environmental shit that we can't change. But we've got to focus on the things we can control, the things we do have power over. And part of Stoicism is understanding that your feelings and how you react is down to you. A Stoic person does not blame external things. A Stoic person owns up and puts the blame on themselves. And that's part of something that has never gone away, and I've always thought about, because it's true. Like, there's a lot of shit we can't control. We can't control other people. You know, we're not them, but we can choose how we react to other people, and to just certain scenarios. We can choose how we react. You know, and that's one of the only things that we can really do. We gotta take the ball, and we've got to run with it, and we've got to fucking make things right. We've got to own the situation that we're in, including me. You know, I'm not perfect, I'm not a saint, but there's a lot of things I need to make right, and it's mostly personal, and it's mostly what I owe to myself. But I'm not going to allow anybody to knock me off. You know, I'm not going to allow somebody to tell me what I cannot do, or what I can do. It's just something I'm not going to give up. But with that being said, I've just summarised everything that I've wanted to say. And take care, and I hope you have a good day.